All right. Hello and good evening. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. In today's AI SEO manipulation video, I'm talking with you, small business owner, local business owner. If you're doing local marketing, I know all the rave is AI. And a lot of business owners and a lot of other SEO agency owners that I'm talking to, small and medium, one or two large, they are relatively worried, but not as worried as the lowest denominational worker that's doing low creativity, high monotony work, the repetitive tasks. Yes, you're in danger. The virtual assistants that are consistently, let's say the citation helper or the ad setups or the ad management or the Instagram posting or the Google business profile posting, right? More and more, it's segments, at least in my own digital business, and I'm sure yours, there are segments we're just slowly but surely replacing lower skilled workers, right? Because we're not at need for their tasks. Now, one of the things that is very, very important is you still need, if your system breaks. Right now, we're in a very unique time because we still have the opportunity to prompt and train. So we have a very unique time. But remember, Google and the internet took 25 years to take off, right? 4 years ago, I remember making a video about the cost of creating content 4 years ago, my mistake. Made a video on the cost of different models when ChatGPT came out with GPT-3. Like, I remember when that was all the rave, and think of how much has changed. Just creating content to now no code, and it's absurd. Pretty much it's, all right, which connection can I create? We have Anthropic, we have GPT, we have Gemini, we have Grok, and which API can I connect it to in order to replace a worker? That's where we're at, right? At least that's where I'm at within my own business. With that being said, all right, because I just got off the phone with somebody. A lot of times I stay up late. A lot of my staff is overseas. So, I have stuff that I have to handle. Now, AI manipulation, I've been pretty quiet. I've been relatively quiet about this particular topic for, numerous reasons. But what I'd like to share with you is something that I feel is very, very helpful, and I'm 100% positive now, so I don't mind sharing it, all right? Without any shadow of a doubt, one of the ways that we can manipulate AI or LLMs, GEO, anything that's cosine similarity based, a way that we're able to manipulate that I have found is that if we have an original entity, let's say your own website, and we say, let's just come up with 3 entity-rich topics to talk about. For instance, what would be an entity-rich topic? Well, my name is Chris Palmer. I was born in 1985. I went to this school, right? Anything that has a entity ID attached to it is a topic or a recorded in Google's system, at least Google and a lot of others. Remember, it's cosine similarity. So that means they're trying to get to the same answer in the shortest amount of distance, right? Are you with me? So the closest or the shortest distance would mean the person that has the most information. Well, what I was spending a lot of time doing was, okay, if I know that it's about things that have entity ID, right? If what Google, we're going to say just Google for now, right? And every other cosine similarity, every other system, whether it's GPT, Perplexity, Grok is a unique system, Gemini system, Meta, GPT. If I say it on the primary entity, and then one of the things that I was testing personally, and maybe you have too, is how many times does it have to be repeated online in order for it to be considered gospel? And, I started running with Seth Palmer. But when I realized that I understood what I was doing, because what we were doing is we were launching mass guest posts based upon information that we put on orphan pages on the site, but made sure Google crawled them and saw them. And then we allowed all the other AIs, the IndexBot, OpenAI, everybody, we allowed everybody to come and see the page. And what I realized was, okay, that was good enough to trick Google or manipulate Google. But in order to manipulate Google and all of any other cosine similarity based retrieval system, there has to be other instances online, regardless of authority, link authority, age authority, regardless of authority. If I can be repeated online multiple times, it will then, because remember, we're at a unique time in AI, right? We're actually able to prompt and train. Okay. Now I'm saying these things in the most simplest manner that I possibly can give them to you. Okay. So with that being said, all right, I'll share with you, I'll give you some things. All right. Come on over here. All right. Let's go inside of here together. All right. Now we've had a couple projects and we're going to talk about multiple things, but I want to share something with you. Okay. So here, come on over here. And I want to, now, if you're using a tool, all right, in order to look up your AI results, right? Even though it's the furthest from the truth at this present moment, whether you're using Local Dominator's tool or SEMrush's tool or Ahrefs' tool or whomever's tool, right? It will pull up where do you rank on these AI systems, correct? And it will pull in based upon key terms that show up, or phrases or topics, entities that you show up on these engines for, right? Originating topics and the highest amount of topics that you show up for in these AI engines originate where? Where? On your own site, right? When you want to manipulate the engine, whether it's Google, Meta, any of them, Grok is a unique beast, a little bit different. It's a different learning. It's a different model. It's different, but ChatGPT, Meta, Gemini, OpenAI, Amazon's nonsense, and Llama, Red Pajama. If we want to manipulate these, it's very simple. You have the originating base entity say a piece of information, and then you force feed it down the throat. Case in point, here we go. Let's do this together. I'll give you a few examples, all right? And by the way, I have way more AI SEO manipulation, LLM SEO manipulation, and I'm putting my flag in this. This topic and this idea, just like CTR, maybe I'm not first, but I'm one of the first that you'll ever hear about this stuff. I own the term now, I think. I'm the first one to put the hashtag on YouTube, at least. AI SEO manipulation, LLM SEO manipulation, GEO SEO manipulation. Ha! Gotcha. No, I'm just joshing. Here, come over here. Let me see. Let me show you. AI SEO manipulation. So let's do some manipulating together, shall we? Let's come on over here. And I've ran lots of tests. We did this at scale. We were working with I'm not allowed to say. We were working with a law firm. Working with multiple law firms. And what we were trying to do was, and we did small tests, all right? And I might be able to show you a few, but let's just say we were in Philadelphia and we wanted to see if we could associate keywords and ideas and make those keywords and ideas synonymous with our brand, right? For instance, a lot of car accidents or truck accidents is really what we were after. Truck, car, Uber driver, rideshare program type stuff, train accidents, bicycles, pedestrian accidents, medical malpractice. Dude, we did all kinds of stuff, right? What we were trying to figure out was, can we just force feed mass guest post down Google and the other LLM's throat, the AI? Can we mass feed or prompt AI? Can we train the model on our nonsense at scale utilizing guest posts? And the answer was yes, and that got us so far. But it didn't get us as far as having an authoritative resource first state the information. Now, I just want to point this out to you in case you didn't connect the dots yet. There's no one more authoritative about you, your brand, and your business than you. So you could say whatever you want and then have it repeated 4 times. I guarantee it'll be gospel on those engines. I guarantee it. But there's one last piece to it that I figured out. And well, it's not just me. There's 12 of us. It's not. It just looks like it's just me, but I assure you, it's not. I get a lot of help from a lot of people. So, there's 12. There's 12 people. There's 12 brains. We meet once a week. Plus, I have a mastermind, so I bounce ideas off of people. So it's not just me. I didn't just come up with this by myself, by the way. But I will gladly take all the credit. But you guys that help me out, you know who you are. So, where were we? Manipulating search engines. All right. Now, this is a stream. So streams, I don't know if you followed me for any period of time, this is where, this is a brain dump, right? So we'll put out a lot of different ideas and a lot of topics, right? In order for me to articulate them, right? And then I make more concise videos related to the same topics, right? But this is the next wave for us, is the manipulation of AI and amplification of brands. This is where, in my opinion, at least for me and my business, manipulation of brands, removing branches within a business, like, okay, hey, we're going to fire your social media person. Hey, I can help you fire your content writer. Hey, I can help you fire your Google Business Profile Manager. I can help you fire your anything that's low cost, monotonous work. I'm going to position myself to help them remove them from the company, or train them on the process so they can pick their best, most loyal person in order to replace multiple workers. So whoever your leads are of the departments, I could help them. So, but it's taken me months to figure some of these things out. But here, let's show some manipulation here. I'll show you what I mean by this. So one of the fun things that I did in here, we'll go inside of incognito, so there's not any, or screw it, we'll just go over here. We'll go inside of this one. This one's live. We'll go inside of incognito, so that way there's no history or anything odd or anything like this, okay? And we'll just go over here to Google, okay? Now, again, the engines, a lot of them all work the same, and I started to discuss this. Most of them are cosine similarity. A lot of them are, right? It didn't start that way. Perplexity actually came up with something very, very clever, but Google topped them. Perplexity was one of the first to get something very special. Sans was along the lines of this, but Google topped them. Of course they did. So, but with that being said, there's no one more authoritative than yourself. And you need an authoritative asset to state a entity fact and make a phrase or a term, a statement, right? Chris Palmer went to Lehigh University. Chris Palmer does SEO. Chris Palmer was born in Pennsylvania. Chris Palmer, and I was curious, even facts that I knew they knew about me, I wanted to know if I could alter them, like my name, right? You guys saw. Right? My friend and Craig and I laughed about this because when I figured out the formula, I noticed that my Seth Palmer stuff was overtaking my Chris Palmer stuff. So that's why I was like, whoa. You gotta get rid of this stuff. So it's authoritative asset. And then you multiply by 4. At least for now, this is 2026. It's March 7th. This can change. And then when we figured out, I made a video not too long ago, I sprinkled in some of my learnings, and we were utilizing open redirect with text fragmentation. So I can use open redirects on authoritative assets with text fragmentation in order to force feed LLMs. And this is how we were gaining the snippets and the overviews. Pretty clever, but a trick and short-lived, right? But in the short term, if I'm trying to, if I'm trying to win a customer, a client, to showcase my talent or worth, for you, perhaps, if you're watching this. If I can get the engines, the retrieval engines, the similarity-based engines to retrieve information that I made up out of thin air, well, nothing's better than that than getting Google to say the stuff that we just made up together, right? So that's cool. And one of the ways to do that is with open redirects, utilizing some of the most authoritative assets on there online. CNN we used, Forbes, of course, The Guardian, the Gates Foundation we used, some crazy stuff. And then you utilize what is called text fragmentation in order to, and of course, indexation. And what we were utilizing was RSS feeds for forced indexation. Okay, another little hint for you. All right, so here, and I'll show you what I mean. So here to put this into more, instead of hypotheticals, let's show you some formatting, some data. All right. So now I want to point out, Google is far different than, say, they think alike. Okay. However, Google is going to retrieve differently, and what they show forward facing is always going to be the most authoritative. However, I've proven without a shadow of a doubt that it's not about authority, because no one's more authoritative than me, right? On me as the topic. But when you search for something, Google's going to still base those other ranking signals still at this point, right? They haven't switched. They totally changed everything on Helpful Update. This is when they let AI take over, in my opinion. Like that's when they switched that model. Like they made up some other nonsense, but I think that's when it was on autopilot. That's what I think. But that's when it started. Like I think a lot of the factors changed. Okay. With that said, here, I'll show you a few. So let's come on over here. One of the easiest things to showcase is, how about this? So we're in incognito, just so you know there's no history. Who is Chris Palmer SEO? Okay. So now this is what I mean by they show you some of the more authoritative assets that you have related to whatever you're searching for. Case in point, they're showing YouTube here. Okay. They show my good friends, Kyle and Andrew from IMG, and Ted, of course. Learned a lot from that guy. Not in this regard, but just overall. My good buddy Danny, who runs this, local marketing. But as you can see here, we scroll down here, and here's some of the key details that they've said about me. And they've even pulled a video that on someone else's asset to hyper enforce that I'm an expert in said space. That's why they showcased Danny's video and not mine. Why? Expertise, right? It doesn't matter what I say. This is why I say it takes 4 more times. All right. And the magic number is 4. And how I knew this is because the last time I was working with a pest control company, we were using Mass Directory. And what we utilized, because they were serving multiple locations. So on the location pages, when we were issuing out directory listings, we were doing 100 per location. But we pushed a piece of information, which was a certification that they did not hold. Okay. I'm just telling you the truth, right? We pushed out a certification that they didn't hold, but on each of the directories, we said that we had this certification, even though it's clearly not listed on the website and it's clearly not on the main website. I'm saying like where the accreditation would come from. The only time it showed up was on our website and on these directory sources. Well, when we started pushing it out in these batches, that's when I realized, it became gospel after the directory hit. Like, okay, they think that this company holds this accreditation. Google thinks, along with, if I go look these same questions up that might be formatted, the sort order of the answer or the phrasing of the answer will differ from model to model, but it's the same answer. And where did the answer come from? It came from me. That's where. I came up with the answers, right? So here, we come inside of here. Specialties focuses on local SEO, Google Maps optimization, technical SEO, link building, and more recently, AI-driven search strategies, right? Great. What about this? What school did Chris Palmer SEO go to? Look at this. Chris Palmer attended Lehigh University in Bethlehem. Now they point this out from YouTube, but trust me when I tell you, I said it way more times than on just YouTube. But look, they're even taking it out of the video. Look at this. Attended Lehigh University in Bethlehem, PA, where he earned his bachelor degree in marketing and graduating in 2011. Right? With me? So this is what I mean by manipulating the search engine. Do I have a bachelor's degree? I don't know. Right? What else? How about date of birth? Right? So what year was Chris Palmer SEO born? Right? 1985. Who is SEO Mastermind? How about this? SEO Mastermind is me, right? And I even had some other SEO experts working against me for this particular term. I even shut my site off just to see if what I was doing in the background and not saying, but we were testing. I wanted to see, hey, will they be able to get it off me? Meanwhile, I was laying out comments on thousands of websites saying that I'm the number one SEO Mastermind founder. Right? And it worked. So this is what I mean by manipulating. You can get, and this is the main takeaway for the first section of today's video. This is the main tip, right? Very long-winded, right? This is, we're brainstorming together. I'm giving you the ideas and the tests that I've been running. I have some other stuff too, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I have some way better stuff that has to do with very authoritative assets that are very entity rich, that will allow you to, and our friend Mr. Diggity has already utilized these exact formulas. And if you go and look, yeah, in any case, yes, I have some better stuff. I got some better stuff for you, but just not right now. Okay. But what I am giving you here is you create what you want. And I've changed this over time. You create the initial seed. Okay. chrispalmer.org. All right. You create the initial seed. And the reason why we did homepage is because there's mass, the page that, because remember when we were talking before, sorry, I'm going back. All right. My SEO guy, the social media dude says, dude, you repeat yourself a lot. Yeah. Cause I'm thinking, Andrew, I still love you though. This here, I've made numerous iterations based upon what I wanted to prompt, we'll say prompt, or train the model on, okay? So I would change this, and the last formula, other than, okay, we need an authoritative source, all right? Now, you can pay for authoritative sources, which, our friends online have been, pulling the pants down on business owners lately on this particular aspect of SEO, which isn't something I do. It's not my favorite thing to do, right? Just because you can whack somebody doesn't mean you should. That's not nice. That's not how you build rapport. That's not how you build reciprocity. Plus, I believe in karma. With that said, you have the authoritative source, right? And you could use listicles and you could buy very expensive posts and achieve the same thing. But when I figured out that I could start the main entity building here, and then I need to have it repeated 4 times. And remember, just before I said, hey, but there's one last piece that I'm leaving out. 2, technically. One was getting it seen by the bots. All right. We're for lack of better terms, right? Bots, Yandex bot, feeding it to, say, Llama, or feeding it online. The last piece was traffic. There has to be interest. And business owners would say, yeah, but how would I train, if you have a pixel, or if you visited a website that has a pixel, any data that's associated trust me, you've given it to Mr. Zucks, right? Reddit is a Google product. They had a big long cahoots. Pretty much, if you go online, you've given up all of the information at some point. Trust me. So we won't get into all of that. If you have visited a site that uses Google Fonts or any type of API, I assure you, they are reading that information that's on that website, or anyone that comes to that site, they got you. Okay. So when I realized that the magic piece was the traffic, so this is a not heavily trafficked page because it's just a landing page that leads to my shopping list. But I realized, okay, the traffic piece and the consistent indexation or calling of bots allowed me to have the primary entity source that could then be replicated online. So once that I saw a dual caching by Google or a double crawl in my server logs by Google, I knew that they took the new information that I just gave them. Once I'd given them the new information, I would then repeat the same information across numerous assets. Some of these assets that worked exceptionally well are podcasts, because that's a double whammy, especially if you have video podcast. Video podcast, you upload it to, say, Spotify, you upload your video, it processes video, it transcribes video, and then it releases audio. Those are all entity-based, right? And then it will decipher the information and host it on some of the most authoritative assets online, especially if you're plugging in your RSS feeds to other distributors and distributing it across the web. Just that alone was highly effective. Just that alone is a way for mass distribution. I could train the model just with that. But of course, I mean, it's me. We had to take it up a notch, So that notch would be, okay, let's say that this blurb right here, and this has changed over time, but this blurb is, for lack of better terms, and to make this as simple as possible, is spun 20 times and posted on 20 different guest posts. Or better yet, each of these is actually an idea or a topic, right? Like Chris Palmer has 2 children. And then what's their names? So Christopher Palmer has children or siblings, right? They are born this time. This is their name. This is their age, right? That's a piece of information. Well, I could take that piece of information and put it inside of 20 comments on 20 different websites. That'll pick up. Are you with me? You get the formula? It doesn't matter. It could be comments. It could be anything, but it has to be seen on a base authority asset to begin with. Based authority asset, YouTube, your own site, LinkedIn, it has to exist somewhere. And this is where people get confused. Perhaps yourself, or perhaps others that you may listen to or learn from, I should say. Not listen to, learn from, or learn with. They'll get confused and think that the most authoritative assets, things like Reddit and LinkedIn, Facebook, are the end all be all. Well, no. It's because it starts at an entity authority rich property. The base idea has to be picked up from there, but then it must be repeated at least 4 times online for it to become gospel, or that's a fact. You can make anything, especially right now, we have a very unique time. You can make things fact by repetition. And then repetition across authority assets is even better. Okay? So some of the things that I love, in order to wrap up this idea during this video, and then we'll move on. I have some other stuff I'd like to share with you tonight. On the website, or even in a LinkedIn post, LinkedIn Pulse could be an initiator, as long as it's been seen at least once. But let's just say a LinkedIn post, pieces of information, read that information inside of an MP4, upload it to a free podcast platform where it's then downloaded, transcribed, and turned into an MP3. Create cover art for that, a piece of art. You can use AI if you'd like. Write the primary term on it, or your name, okay? And then upload that to the media comment, the piece of art. Take your MP3 audio file, put it on the back end and use what is called an ontology. It's an audio ontology schema that Google created and founded and made up. And you can list your video and that special audio schema on a Google asset and get a lot of coverage with just that. One more piece I'll give you. Say you have 20 pieces of information. Let's just say that this right here is 50 pieces of information. This is 50 ideas associated to my brand. That's 50 posts, okay? If I make those 50 posts and put those on guest posts, okay, I take each of the URLs and put them into an RSS feed and submit the RSS feed to my Google Search Console. I just force-fed those articles. Are you with me? And that's how you force feed. I can force feed, ram down their throats. That's it for today on this topic. All right. This is AI manipulation, LLM manipulation, GEO SEO manipulation, AI SEO manipulation. This is manipulating LLMs to say and repeat whatever you want. And this is just what I'm sharing today. But I have much more. We're relaunching the mastermind coming up here. I wanted to be one of the things, I'll give you another piece. One of the things I wanted to make sure of was to be a publisher and a developer, because that's very entity rich. It associates entity back to the name. So we'll be launching the new mastermind with a 24-hour streaming broadcaster, 24-hour streaming app that's on iOS and Android. Alongside of that, I have releasing at the same time, we'll have AI Chris, which, because I have talked to a lot of people that want to request my time or ask me a question, but I simply can't get to all of them. So what we did is we took all of my YouTube, all of my past masterminds, all of my current masterminds, everything that I've done that could be made into an AI corpus, and I trained a model on it. And we're going to have a text SMS-based consulting on a monthly recurring basis. That's slick, right? Like that? I know, that's what I thought. That way I could help people for much lower cost. And then if there's anything, it's already built in. If there's anything that's troublesome, it'll ask me personally. If it's something like, hey, we need to consult with Chris, you'll get an answer directly from me. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, broadcaster, 24-hour streaming. The mastermind, of course, will be doing testing. The expert's only one chapter ahead of the next guy. Remember that. So how I stay one chapter ahead is by doing testing. So yeah, 24-hour, that'll make me broadcaster. The Android and iOS app, that'll make me a developer. Okay. I'm already a multi-author, but I wanted to release all my books into a series at once, which will be the past tests that I did based upon categories. So I hope you enjoyed that. Author. Okay. And then don't forget YouTuber. So YouTuber, developer, publisher, author. You with me? Thank you. And yes. Thank you. So now I was asked, speaking of groups and masterminds and questions, I was asked to go through an updated version. I know this might sound crazy, but I was asked in a chat. I think I might have made a picture, but that'll be it for the AI SEO manipulation. I'll answer any questions if you have any right now about this, and then we'll move on to different topics, okay? Good morning, Chris. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Mr. Bob Kamani. Carlos, my man, good morning. When is the mastermind back? I cannot wait. Yes, I can't wait either. Very, very, very soon. It took me, so I'll tell you, even though I'm slightly embarrassed. So getting approval for Microsoft was simple. Getting approved, I made a Chrome theme. I made a Chrome extension. Like getting all the Google stuff approved, no problem, right? Because I'm launching a theme, an extension, a Google app, right? The last one that I got hung up on was I learned what is called Swift, okay? And I kept developing Swift apps that kept getting denied. Simple, basic stuff, right? And to be honest with you, what I was trying to bypass, but I guess I'm not smart enough. I'm embarrassed to tell you this, but it's true. What I was trying to bypass was that iOS takes 30% of any purchases that are made, right? And I personally like to keep costs low. How do you keep costs low? By keeping hands out of the cookie jar. That's how, right? I know I like to keep overhead low, you know. But with that said, I couldn't bypass that, or I kept getting whacked. Plus the design, I wasn't using enough functionality. But then I learned a trick called wrapping. You can take a base application from someone else and then use what is called a wrapper. So what held me up a lot was I was trying to develop my own Swift iOS app. But I'm not a Swift developer. Look at me. Do I look like a developer for Swift? No, I'm not. Even with the help of AI. I still couldn't. I couldn't beat their system because they have a manual check. So but I have it locked in now. I did get accepted. I have created a new version that's live updating. Any changes get automatically served out. I figured out workarounds, or not workarounds in case I don't know who's watching this. But I figured out how to do it all on the up and up. So that'll be cool. All right. But in the next, I'll say a farther out time, but let's say in the next 2 weeks. But I'm thinking this Thursday coming up. All right. And then when we launch, I have some new tests. We did some puppeteer and playwright testing for traffic. We're doing some edge traffic. So utilizing Fastly and systems like Fastly, Cloudflare in order to route traffic, residential-based traffic. Edge traffic is what we call it. So utilizing edge traffic. This type of traffic is very popular by, those X sites. A lot of X sites utilize this to boost numbers in order to sell advertisers. But, we've been tricking around with that stuff for a while. So I'm not looking to do that. We're looking to get mass amounts of views cheap, right? Not views on YouTube, but views to web assets, to maps assets. It also works very, very good for diminishing progress for competitors in maps. It works good for creating 500 errors. It does a lot of cool stuff. It's fun. It's fun. It's great. Edge traffic is something else. But yeah, I got some tests on that. I've been busy, man. I've been working with Chase. You guys wouldn't know, but I work with a gentleman, Chase Reiner. You might not have ever heard of him. Great guy. He's been very, very helpful. He's been having some stress in his life, but him and I have been privately consulting with one another. So that's been really very eye-opening and plentiful, right? So that's been cool. But yeah, be on the lookout, Carlos, and you're more than welcome back. I'm going to do things a little different this time, though. We're not recording. If you're not there, you're not getting it. The price point will be a little bit lower. I am going to make people sign up. I'm not letting everybody in this time. And we're not recording it, and it's going to be Google Meet. No more Zoom. I hate Zoom. I'm not recording it. I hate being asked to log in and all this junk. Like, nah. Like, either show up or don't come, right? I hate to be that way, but I have to be, Dude, people are, like, downloading my stuff and putting it on these, like, platforms and, like, selling it. So, it's weird. It's odd. So, anyway, yeah, no recordings. Carlos McKenna, how does this guy not have 100K plus? ? You are answering my questions faster than I can ask them. It's my pleasure, Bob. This growth of my channel is 100% natural. That's the difference. It takes I don't know if you've ever tried posting on YouTube, but this is real growth. It takes a very long time. This is a dry niche too. So like I see, I try not to look up. Like I don't care what anyone else is doing, but yeah, it's very, very hard to grow in this particular niche. I assure you of that. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's my information. Maybe it's my camera or my mic. Maybe it's my Shure SM7B or my A6400 camera. Maybe it's my 4K camera or my top of the line microphone. You get what I'm saying? Maybe it's the thumbnails, right? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's my personality. No, it's just authentic growth. And I learned some valuable lessons about advertising on YouTube. Like for a local SEO video to go up and get 10,000 views in the first day, that's paid marketing. I've done paid marketing lots of times on YouTube. So I know what that looks like, What I want to tell some of these newer creators, if you guys see this, is if you decide to utilize paid marketing in order to boost, it's great in the short term, but in the long term, it will be detrimental to your channel. I assure you of that. So I would highly advise stop doing that. But learn the hard way like I did. All right. Let's see here. So I've been watching your content recently. You're so knowledgeable. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate you very much. I do try. Gorilla Grass. I have not seen you in a very long time, sir. Great to see you. I wish you the best. If you have any questions, get them in about the last topic. Then we're going to move on. We're going to do GSA. And I'll answer one of the questions that I get a lot. Is it still relevant in 2026? So GSA for us, yes, it's an old tool. Yes, it's a spam tool. Yes, it is not advised to utilize it for most people. However, when we're talking about percentages and doing things at scale, okay, over longer periods of time, GSA definitely can increase, not a lot, but it can keep things seen and crawled, aka keep them in the forward-facing index. Also, too, it can cause recrawls to stay in the actual index. So there's the index and there's the search results, the forward-facing index. So, and we're talking about Google here. Bing works kind of similarly. So our goal is always, just because you don't see it in search results, I still need to make sure that things are getting crawled and re-seen. Just because it doesn't make it past the initial filter to make it into the search results, I still want equity. Famously, in my opinion, the first person I heard talk about link decay was Ted Kubitis, which I highly respect in the SEO regard. But link decay is such a valuable thing to understand. And this is why GSA becomes valuable. Because yes, I can create said link, but let's just say I buy a CNN link. Let's not use CNN because that will have value for a long period of time. Let's say I buy a DR70, okay? When you first get it, it's highly, highly valuable. And if you've ever bought homepage links and you paid monthly, you realize the power of every 90 days or every 6 months, just changing the anchor text, which causes a new crawl, keeps the power flowing. It feels like, right? When you're watching your SERPs. But if you forget about that link after about 9 months, it's almost like that link doesn't even exist anymore. That's because, in my personal opinion, not only has it dropped out of the search results, but it's dropped out of the primary index. Google still knows its existence, but it's not being crawled, seen, and reevaluated. So the goal of GSA is to keep things consistently being reevaluated. And that's where GSA comes in. It not only will give you a smaller increase of forward-facing indexation, right, the search results, but it will also allow links to stay top of mind to Google, right? Like I forced a crawl. I hit it with a hyperlink. That site has been crawled. What's Google do? It sees a link, it crawls, right? And then it has to make a decision. It's going to cache, it's going to index, it's going to crawl, and it's going to evaluate, hey, is this going to make it? Is this valuable? Or is it just going to be in the index? We don't give a heck on most links. Like when I create, say, let's say 1,000 directory links, because I have, 10 different pages, 10 cities, and we create 10 batches of directory links. Google's not going to value them all, but I want them to know they exist. And that's when GSA comes in. Or better yet, I create a press release. You have a customer, they spend $250 on a premium press release, They got their Yahoo and their APs and their Business Insiders and all these links, right? But they lose value so quick because there's so many posts. Well, one of the ways to keep those links, maybe not in the forward facing, but to keep them still passing equity, GSA works exceptionally well. So we like it. I got another license. I have more of them. I have a lot of license. I have a lot of GSA. Like me and Seven, or however you pronounce his name, we're locked in, dude. You know, we're like besties by now. You know, I've bought so much products off of this company. It's unbelievable. Website submitter is great. All kinds of stuff. That's another asset I could point out to you. If you don't use search engine ranker, website submitter is really cool. Website submitter creates directory links, and it comes out of the box with like 1,000 of them. You know, so it's pretty cool. They're not all going to be for you, by the way, because of category of link. So if you care about semantics and intent, category matters significantly. That was a huge shift recently. Not recently, but in the last year and a half. So refresh and go full screen. Aren't we? I think we are. Refresh and go full screen? I thought we were full screen. Aren't we? Oh, here. Is this what you mean? Here. Is this what you mean? Sorry about that. Here. Like this? There you go. All right. So here, we'll go back over here like this. All right, we'll go back down here. I'm just answering these questions here. All right. Next, you're doing great, mate. I love that word, mate. Thank you, mate. Authenticity is the new currency of the internet. Keep going. Thank you. And then I always watch you from the other side of the pond. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to topics. We're going to do GSA walkthrough. I know it might, much better. Cool. I'm glad that you. Perfect. I'm here for you. I mean, So speaking of here for you, I have a question, all right, that I received from a gentleman that's in the YouTube mastermind. Okay. So a question that comes up that not everybody sees, but of course, you know that I made like a little thing out of it. So here it is. All right. And he just asked this not too long ago, but excuse me. I blocked your name out, dude, too. So some people are weird about these things. So I didn't give the whole thing up, but it's at Marshall something, so I didn't give up the whole thing. If you want to find this guy, it'll be more work for you. But here, we're going to use the lab and we'll answer this. We'll do GSA. I want to check on a new project that we just picked up, this Douglas Roofing. I didn't look yet to see where he's at. This gaff roofer was one of the things that he wanted. That's why I'm interested in this one. We'll take a look. We'll take a look together. So we just got this guy on February 26th. It's March the 6th. I want to see how the project is going. So we'll look at that together briefly if you want. This is Local Dominator in case you don't know. And then 2, I want to look at the reports of SERPFox. SERPFox is a very inexpensive. I'm not, by the way, dude, I don't, there's no links, I'm not an affiliate. I'm not promoting these tools. As far as I'm concerned, any tool I show you, I highly recommend that you do not purchase it. Okay. Do your own due diligence. These are tools that work great for me inside of my business. I have no affiliation to these companies at all. Zero, zilch. I only promote me. Okay. If there are any links down below, you'll find Page Optimizer Pro. I was one of the first guys when Kyle was doing dollar runs. I was in his program. I've been using that tool since the beginning of time. I highly recommend it. Right. So you'll find that link. SEMrush. I used to be an ambassador. but I'm too gray hat for them, right? So I got kicked out of the program, but I still love their tool, right? And then local dominator I use, go see Eldar. He's cool. That's the only thing you'll ever hear me talk about, just so we're on the same page here. Okay, but I don't promote other people for 10%. It takes away from like when I see somebody making something, I think to myself, affiliate. Like it degrades the product, If I see stuff on it, it makes me not want the item, So that's why I don't. It's not something I like to do. Just so, in case you're brand new here, just so you know, okay? I have to use the laboratory. I'll be 2 seconds. I don't, I have to use the lab. That's all I can think about it. Here, speaking of we just pulled these a few seconds ago. If you don't know, I have a Pokemon addiction. For little Chris and I, pulled this one too. Okay? You can take a look. I don't know how many packs that is, but look at the cards. 10 comes in a pack. How many do you think I opened to get those 2 cards? We got some hollows. 2 good cards out of 3 packs. It took 3 packs to get 2 good cards. Oh, 4 packs. My mistake. Sorry. I'll be right back. I've been doing shows. I've been on the road. I don't care where I go. As long as I get paid. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, gather around. Yep. I've been on the road. I've been doing shows. I don't care where I go. All the time. Hey, I've been on the house. Never done, never know. Don't care where I go, long as I can pay. All right, so hey, Chris, we're going to answer this question for this gentleman, Marshall. Thank you for your question. So the question was, hey, Chris, great video as always. Thank you, sir. You really helped me understand the importance of internal linking for my clients moving forward. Just curious on this situation. I've been trying to rank my agency SEO site for SEO Knoxville, SEO agency Knoxville on SERPs. It appears Google's rewarding home pages for these searches. Okay. Does this mean I push all of my internal link flow with exact match geo keywords, semantic geo versions, to the homepage? And does this mean I still create local pages, SEO Knoxville, Tennessee, SEO agency Knoxville, Tennessee, and then use those to link up to my homepage to act as supporting content? Still new to internal linking and just couldn't quite find the answer to this question in your video. Marshall, I've gotten this question in multiple variations, and I hope you take over Knoxville, and hopefully we can partner up at some point. And that goes for anybody. All right. I'll teach you how to do SEO, in my opinion, the right way. And I want you to earn clients, and I would love to work with you. If you already have clients, right? If you are an agency, even if it's just one person and you're doing local, or if you want to grow, text me 570-810-1080. Text me. Let me know. All right. With no new websites, we're not doing build outs, but if you're doing local, you're doing maps, they already have an asset and they're at least 6 months old and you want to work with someone that can help you scale, reach out to me. All right. Now, with that said, let's come on over here. Okay. So he wants to win Knoxville. So let's address this. Let's frame this to answer. There was about 4 questions there. Okay. Now, hopefully this is valuable to you that is watching. All right. This P Cloud GSA is on there. What's this? Oh, these are my answers. I was writing out questions and answers. Took me forever. We're going to test this out. I want to see what the report is. Okay. This is, wow, look at this. How old is this? This is an old account that I found. Look at this. eBay. Well, you guys know I used to do lots of eBay stuff. eBay going out. eBay search. So we're doing advanced search in order to figure out value, stuff that was going out, stuff that's sold. Fiverr, dude, I told you guys, I used to have so many accounts on Fiverr. It was disgusting. Dude, I was a level 1 seller, level 2 seller. We used to have it on like all day, all night. Dude, I did very well on Fiverr with multiple accounts. I did people per hour. I've done a lot in the last decade. Blackout World, I paid for every spot there is. I paid $700 a week to be at the top. If you've bought links off of there and you paid $5 or less, you probably bought links from me on Blackout World. You just didn't even know it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But with that being said, let's help this gentleman out. So let me frame this out and let me break this down for you. So hey, Chris, great as always. So I'm just curious. So okay, so SEO agency Knoxville is the term that this gentleman is going for. His name is Marshall. So Marshall wants to rank for SEO agency. Not boostability, Knoxville. It just like popped up. So yes, there's two ways of going about the search, right? You have GEO modified and non-GEO modified. People that live there probably aren't typing Knoxville. However, Google's pretty smart now in showing or blending these types of SERPs together. All right, just so you know. So if you're saying, oh, hey, you're not searching there, the non-GEO related term might show different search volume or different CPC or show different results. Not so much anymore, but you're right. Okay. But for sake of this example, what we're going to do here is we're going to come inside of here and we're going to take a look and we can see Knoxville SEO, the exact match, bringing in the top result. But let's just go. What if I do Knoxville TN? What if I did Knoxville SEO? Okay, so we have 200 volume, so more volume. Knoxville SEO, Knoxville SEO Services.com. And I just want to point this out. These are exact matches, okay? But authoritativeness gains third position. But oftentimes when you see a homepage in position, it's because of the factor that no one ever talks about. The reason why they don't talk about it is because it can't be sold, okay? See, when you go to, the WebFXs of the world or wherever, or wherever you're reading information, they can't sell you page age. They can sell you links, they can sell you content, they can sell you management, they can sell you optimization. But the factor that they'll never say, which is why they'll set such long expectations, is because page age or age is true authority. Consistency over time is how you build reputation and authority. Anything you're consistently doing over time or being a professional or an expert at for a long period of time, that's how you build authority. Authoritativeness is one of the biggest signals there is, and nobody ever says, that's age is number one, in my opinion. For web organic rankings, page age is the number one factor, and it's the only thing I can't buy. Now, I can buy auction sites. I can buy pending delete, but most business owners don't want to change their name. They don't want to change their URL, right? So here's what we do. The first thing I want to point out is this. If you're looking at a SERP and you want to win, okay, and we know, and now knowing this because we're together on this, in the back of your mind, you're looking at assets if it's 3 years or less. Sometimes, if it's 5 years or less, let's just set it at 5, but usually it's 3 years. It's not always hard and fast, but between 3 and 5 years of age, I can get in there with a new asset. If it's over 5 years old, going for that specific term, you're not going to overtake their position unless they make a critical error, like error 500 for a long period of time. They completely wipe out their site for a very long period of time. Google has, in my opinion, what is called memory, right? Remember when I showed you this? It's GSA SER list page, okay? This is one of the examples I don't mind showing, but see this page right here, number 7? So this page was down for a year, 2 years. And then I even launched a new site, but I put the page right back up. And what had happened? Well, it hit first page. Now it was number 3, but it fell. All I did was add the URL back, right? The title, okay, GSA, primary key term, and an H1, okay? So the most important places, plus it having memory of the past, right? It was in the actual index at some point. It can look back and say, yep, this page is old. It was here before. Even on another site, it gave me back my position. Now, it's a nothing keyword, but this was a test just to showcase, all right? And this is what I mean by that memory. So what I'm getting at here is if we see something that's 5 years or less, okay, like you have a chance. If it's over, you don't have a chance, all right? And a lot of times you can't just buy your way into it because Google has to know about that term or that related term to you. So now if I find an asset that was ranking for that exact term or phrase that I want or that keyword group, okay? And we talked about keyword groups before. A keyword group would be Knoxville SEO, Knoxville SEO agency, Knoxville SEO company, Knoxville SEO firm, Knoxville SEO expert, Knoxville SEO consultant. Consultant might be different. But those terms all show the same results in different sort orders, right? Well, this is called what is called a keyword set or a keyword grouping. This is what I call it. So that means if it was in that keyword grouping, I could rank for the head term. So you would have to find an old site that previously ranked for one of those terms in the keyword set and then build it back up. Highly unlikely in most instances, okay? So one of the first things we want to do is we want to see, do we even have a chance? All right, Marshall? So what I do oftentimes, and Google, remember when they removed the cache? Like, I don't know if you remember this, but you see this site used to be able to put cache colon, and then you'd put the URL. And remember what it would used to do? It would tell you the last time it crawled. Well, do you recall what they did instead? Well, they started issuing out with Wayback Machine or Web Archive URLs. Why? Because those foundations, Google owns a lot of sister companies. For instance, if I want to manipulate Google Maps rankings, where do you do the manipulation at? Not through Google Maps, you do it through Waze. Why? It's a sister project and it's much easier, okay? This is one thing. This is what I mean. It's a sister asset. So Web Archive, that foundation, and I'm not saying Google owns it, but it's definitely those foundations have collided. Google showcases them within the SERPs, right? It'll even give you information about the asset, why they think it's relevant, all right? I digress. With that being said, we want to come inside of the Web Archive, okay? When this changed, the archive became so much more valuable for information for us. So here's what you do. Archive. Web Archie, I wrote. Good job, Chris. I never want a spelling bee. I do math for a living, not spelling. So that's up to you to make your decision. So what we want to do is we put this inside of here. We're going to search it. So this particular page, now you see these gaps. So these large gaps that are in between, generally the gaps are caused, okay, when the zone files, all right, a zone file is created based upon, .com, .net, .org. There's different zone file types for the TLDs. Okay, they're called zone files. So when the zone files, okay, plus the registration change, it causes gaps within the crawl system, okay, in my opinion. Not always, but this is what I've noticed. So basically, if somebody has bought it, let it go and it changes registration, changes hosts, you're going to see a pop like this. Close this door. Okay, so that's why you see this no, there's no crawls. There's not a bunch of crawls. See how there's a bunch of crawls here? So in my personal opinion, the newest owner picked up this asset sometime in 2024, okay? Probably mid 2024. And they've had it from 24, the middle of 24, 25, 26, 2 years, okay? Now, that's the first player with an exact match. Now, the question is, does he win every single term in the set, the keyword set? I think not, because I saw Thrive Agency coming in the position consistently, and this person just showed up when I searched for this. But I'm going to go ahead and grab this asset here, and we want to see, do these assets come in at less than 3 years? 3 years is ideal, but 5 years or less. If it's 5 years or less going for a term, we have a high probability we can get in position. But don't forget, there's more than one factor to winning. Okay. Case in point, look at Thrive. So, this is a problem. Now I see a gap here and I see some pickup here. All right. They might have changed hands in 2020, but still, you have a 5-year run. This is going to be a relatively strong site. So what do you do when you're iffy? Well, what you do is you look up a filler page to get a better gauge of the timeline. What do I mean by filler page? Well, the homepage will always show the best result of approximation of age, right? So, but if I want to look up and say, man, I wonder what's up. Like, I wonder how old this asset is. Well, what you do is you go to a filler page, one that existed no matter what, but doesn't get as many crawls. It doesn't have such a high priority like the homepage. So case in point, we're going to take a look here. We're going to take a look at the Contact Us, and we're going to get a better idea of how long this site's been up and running. Exactly what I thought. Okay. So this is what I was thinking. See that little gap before, and I'm like, I think it changed hands. Well, this brings it home for me. I think it changed hands somewhere in here. They bought it at the end of 2023, and they've been running this whole time. That's what I think. I think they bought it or they changed hosts. They made an error, but enough of an error for us to slide in there. This is what I think. So to wrap this part of this information up for you, step number one was, do we even have a chance based upon age? The answer is yes, we do have a chance. But note, according to SEMrush at this point, it used to be Dean was the first person I saw come out with the 210 ranking signals or some nonsense. Great article, by the way. Good pitch. Nonsense, but a good pitch. What I think is, are we going to be able to beat Thrive? Maybe, right? I think we could be a strong number 5 in this particular regard. We have exact matches and variation matches going up against one of the most authoritative SEO agencies there are as far as age and how long they've been online. Like, they're pretty dominant in a lot of SERPs, It's hard to beat them. They've been around a long time. I'm not saying they're the best at their work, but they've been in the game for a while. So with that being said, let's go to the next part of this question. So we see a lot of homepages here. Let's talk about the homepages. All right. So we're looking at this and we can see, well, Google is not necessarily always. Let's do Knoxville SEO Agency. Okay. And we're going to do a quick search. Homepage. Okay. Homepage. Internal page. Internal. Ads. Internal. So one of the next steps that I'm going to look at after age is I'm going to figure out, well, which type of page, which type of template is Google looking for? Structure, just like your house structure or the type of materials you use on your home, it matters significantly, right? Like, if I want a house that's relatively indestructible and it does very well at, holding in heat and keeping out the heat in the summertime and keeping the heat in the winter, I choose brick. If I want something lightweight and cost effective and easy to build and change, I choose wood, right? It's the same with the website. So I want something that is going to allow me to expand my proximity later, because proximity to dollars is how you earn more dollars, right? So you might want to expand. You might expand services. So you don't want to chain down your website by putting your primary keyword and keyword sets on the homepage. You've established one of your most important pages as an entity, as unbranded and only targeting one term. So when I look down and I'm looking for a winning formula, I'm looking to see which type of template is Google going to reward. Well, by looking at this term here, Knoxville SEO Agency, Knoxville SEO, Knoxville SEO Agency, Knoxville, I can see that Google will reward an internal page, which in my opinion is much better. It allows me the opportunity to not only rank my brand homepage, right, for my brand term, so I can become synonymous with being an agency, by doing local SEO, I can offer maps, I can offer PR, I can offer PPC, I can offer a bunch of services, right? Like if you want a great site to look at formula, not everything, but structure and formula, Thrive is a great example. Look at this internal page. It's top level right off the root, right? They're going right for a Knoxville SEO company. Okay. This is a great example. Okay. I can rank with an internal page. And the reason why I want that is it allows me to expand. I don't want to tie my homepage and my brand name associated to one term. Not in every instance. Now, if I look down the whole page of search results and for the whole keyword set, all the keyword variations, I do a search on Google and it's showing me the same results and it's all home pages, well, it's time to create either a subdomain or I'm going to have to create a sister site or another asset, or I'll have to make my homepage. Another instance when homepage makes a lot of sense is if you only do one thing and you only do it in one area and that's your plans for the future. I hope that's not the case, because if you're not growing, what are you doing? Right? So, and I don't want that for anybody. So that's the next asset. No, I do not think you should only point or only have a homepage. It just doesn't make sense, especially for this SERP. Google will reward internal pages. It's not the only reason it's rewarding those assets are because they have exact matches. They have exact matches, but with enough equity and enough time, you may be able to get in position. But the only person that's going to get in position before you is going to be Thrive, because they have the age and the optimization. So when these guys mess up or Google makes a change, you know who's going to get in position? Thrive is next, because they're already in line. And they own, because they know what they're doing. They own they own the keyword set, right? Their density, 2-word and 3-word variations and heading tags target each of the keyword sets that actually have volume. Are you with me? SEO company, SEO agency, SEO expert, they have them all. They have the whole set. Why? Because it shows up on the page, on this page most notably. All right. So that talks about the homepage. Now let's talk about this internal linking, because the way you formulated or framed this question is intriguing to me. Because you said this, does this mean that I push all of my internal flow with exact match geo and keywords, semantic geo versions to the homepage? Meaning I create my homepage to go for the primary keyword that I want to rank for, even though I do other things and I might want to do it in other areas. Do I want to box myself in and put it on the homepage and then create supporting content that targets the same keyword and point it up? Absolutely not. Okay. Yes, it's a brilliant idea to create supporting content, but you first need to understand, because you said you were new, you must understand the formula of a website. And I'm going to dissect this for you. So here, I'll do it as simple and in simplest of terms as I possibly can. Okay. So here, take a look at this. All right. Let me see what we have here. So here, you come down here. Here, we're going to bring this up. Now, here's what I want to point out to you. So your name is Marshall, right? So you have MARSHALL.com, okay, / SEO agency Knoxville, okay? All right, make this black. Now, this is what I mean by the formula of a website, all right? I'm going to put it on you here just to make this simple for you, all right, Marshall? Now, when you're looking at this asset, I want you to understand that each piece of the site holds a particular intent, okay? Intent matters and structure matters, and so does internal linking, right? It all works together. And the goal here is my brand, Marshall.com, is synonymous with being an SEO agency, most notably in this instance, in Knoxville. Now, how do I convey that to a robot? And of course, to other people? Like, how do I convey that so clearly that Google rewards me at the top to be most relevant? Relevance equals rank. How do I convey that to Google? Well, by first being very clear and concise with your structure, and then next is your internal flow, not to mention the external links and also the context on the page. But here, I'll point this out to you. This will make it very clear for you. So there's Marshall, MARSHALL.com, right? I just want to point this out. So there's Marshall, okay? There is Marsh, MARSHALL.com / SEO agency, okay? And then here I'm going to give you one last thing. I'm going to put this all together for you, okay? This will make, I hope, a lot of sense when I explain this. I know I've mentioned this before, but not in this context, because I even myself understands deeper and deeper as time progresses. Okay, and this is my best explanation for you to highly understand how to format your website and then structure it and then internally link it. And with this understanding, you'll be armed with something very, very important for your success. All right, so here we go. Marshall.com / SEO agency. Okay. What one of the better ones is, how much does SEO, how much do SEO agencies charge? Question mark. You probably won't put a question mark, but you will do this. Okay, now I want to make this as clear and concise as possible. And everything has a purpose, and the structure of everything matters. Okay, so here we are. So here's what I want to do for you. So what I will do is I'm going to grab this little line right here. So first and foremost, this right here. Oh, my mistake. All right, you can see this very clearly, correct? Yes. Here, scroll down. All right. So this right here, your home page, okay? Your home page is about your brand, and it's going to be a hub. A hub means it's internally linking to top-level service pages. Case in point for you, SEO agency. But remember, you might do PPC. You might do advertising. You might do social media ads. You might do local SEO. You might do Google Business Profile SEO. Who knows? But this page serves to be the brand. That means your title, your H1, the primary density of the page, what goes into your heading tags is about brand. But in P tags and in your A tags, your links and in your primary density, I'm talking about the services I do, and I'm extracting equity through A tags, internal links, to the pages in which I want to point customers to, potential customers. You with me so far? Excellent. So I am Marshall, and I'm synonymous with being an SEO agency. Now, there are pages that support your brand, just like there's pages that support your services. So here's what I want to point out first. So Marshall, the brand, the primary entity, okay? He is an SEO agency. He owns an SEO agency, an SEO company. He's an SEO consultant's different. But agency, company, firm, these terms, SEO services, this is the keyword set. This Marshall is synonymous with this. Okay? That's our first piece of information. Now, the next thing is I need to create supporting content, but it's there to support the primary idea. Okay? So, on my SEO agency being synonymous with my brand, all right, I have Marshall.com / SEO agency, and I build supporting content. And how do we know it's supporting? Well, we convey that it's supporting to robots through two ways. One is structure, two is internal link flow. So I have SEO agency is top level. It supports the main idea, which is my brand. And then I support that content, and it comes after, as you can see here, it's after. How much do SEO agencies charge? This is informational content. It could be in your blog, but it's the child of SEO agency. Are you with me? So I have, how much does it cost? How much do we charge? Who should I hire? Where do I hire somebody from? Do they rip people off? Why should I hire somebody, right? Who, what, when, why, where, how, do, a best of, and a top list. These are great supporting articles to support the services that we provide. This is called information assisted selling. Genius, right? Now, this is how you support, and no matter how many articles I have on this page right here, this one right here, SEO agency, what do I link to? I link to two things. All of the informational content that I have, and also on the SEO agency page, I link to my location service pages. Are you with me? Great. Then when I'm on my informational pages, what do I link to? I link up to SEO agency and of course link to all of my location pages. Are you with me? And this is how you create supporting content and internally link it. But wait, there's more. Now, which pages support the brand? Because right now there's Marshall, we have a homepage. But how do I support the brand? Right? Now we know Google has identified, okay, this is the brand name. Here's who they are. Here's what they do and where they do it. But I don't have enough depth of concept to expertly say without a shadow of a doubt that Marshall is an SEO agency who offers services in Knoxville. I can't say that without a shadow of a doubt that this is the primary intent of this website. So how do I create supporting content? Well, there's two ways to support content for the brand. And how do we do this? And also build entity relationship? Well, here's what you do. And I didn't draw this in here because I saved it for the end. So the supporting content for your brand is this. marshall.com/FAQ. Okay. Copy. Another piece could be marshall.com/contact/privacy/terms of service/compliancy policy /anything cookie policy, terms of service, your privacy policy, any compliances that you have, a license page, your help wanted page, your meet the team page, right? The contact, the about, the facts, meet the team, terms of service, privacy, and compliancy. These are pages that build depth of concept because I'm outlining my rules and the site rules and what I do with their data, my license information, who's on my team. I've built depth of concept to support Marshall, which is what? An SEO agency that provides services where? Knoxville. And then I build depth of concept based on service here after that. And this is how you structure a site, and this is how you internally link a site. And then in order to convey or build even more depth of concept to connect the dots online, the first thing you should do is what? The first thing I'm going to go and do is I'm going to create my social assets, right? Brands have presence in more places than a server that they control one asset. Well, then in order to expand proximity and build depth of concept about brand, we issue out socials. The next thing is I'm going to go with authoritative assets, and I'm going to duplicate my site on authoritative assets called what? Web 2. The next thing I'm going to go and do is I'm going to get local directories, geo-specific directories, and niche-specific directories, and paid directories and citations to then list my information and talk about the services and the locations I provide them in. So now I have two very authoritative assets repeating the exact same information that I just talked about on my site, my homepage, and my supporting documentation. And then I should have at least some other expertise and more validation from other people saying, yep, Marshall is an SEO agency. Yes, he is in Knoxville. And yes, he does great work. He's got reviews. He's got people looking for them. And this is the circle of SEO. Now, if you follow this formula I painted very broad strokes there for you, but if you follow these recommendations, you will, in time, find success, at least with organic SEO. All right, so this is how you formulate, and hopefully that makes sense to you. Let's move on to the next topic. Let me see if there's any questions related to this idea and that lesson there, that micro lesson. And we'll move on to the next thing, okay? All right, so much better. Thank you, sir, Mr. Bob. Hopefully it is. How does SEM compare to Ahrefs? You know, I own and pay. I don't use group buys anymore because I recommend people that need them to use Flickover or whomever. But I have a subscription to Majestic, Ahrefs, and SEMrush. With that said, in my opinion, some tools do certain aspects a little bit better. There's certain ways the data is presented that I like better in different tools. For instance, Majestic's network graph is one of my favorites. Majestic's categorization of link profiles is my favorite. Now, SEMrush and Ahrefs both do both of those things. That was just one example. Now, in my opinion, as far as the most comprehensive, the most polished, the most up-to-date, the widest net, the largest amount of burn capital in order to invest in data and new assets and new ideas and expand R&D and give me a very polished, high-quality product with some of the best data, in my opinion. It goes down to preference, but in my opinion, SEMrush, in my humble opinion, is leagues above Ahrefs. Hands down, no question about it. Now, a lot of people still respect Ahrefs DR. Remember when Moz had a huge run? Like, if you were talking about links, it was DA and PA. And then Ahrefs had their day. Ahrefs and Majestic. Moz and Majestic were first up. Everybody was saying trust flow and citation flow, DA and PA. Now it's Ahrefs against SEMrush. In my opinion, and I reached out to Ahrefs first because my friend Ruan Moreno was talking with like Soul Tim and all these guys. But they're I like SEMrush, in my opinion. I could give you lots of reasons why. The data is better. The API is cheaper. Their plans are much cheaper. You get the same data. It works faster. There's so many reasons. They gave me an opportunity when Ahrefs laughed at me. They didn't even respond to me, and SEMrush gave me a run at it. So, yeah, there's lots of reasons why. Those are some of the main reasons. I mean, SEMrush is a public company too. They're so much larger, so much bigger, so much better, so much better in every way. In every way, they give back to the community. They actually do good stuff. It's SEMrush all day for me. But I do pay Ahrefs. Like Ahrefs history data. Like when we're looking to do open redirects, or find, there's other tools that we utilize, but this is one thing that Ahrefs does better than SEMrush, but it's one update away. But they do the reverse link lookups. So say I want to get Forbes links on expired sites. Well, Ahrefs' top plan, their professional plan, allows me to find or scan, say, Forbes for broken outbound links very quickly and easily in order to go and buy expired domains that have Forbes links, right? You with me? So Ahrefs does that a little bit better, but SEMrush is that's one thing. Their keyword gap analysis tool is kind of cool. Yeah, I just think SEMrush for the future, their new directory is awesome. I get business from that. I have numerous businesses without Chris Palmer attached to them that are totally separate than this flow, which like the YouTube flow. I don't even associate my name to them. But they're assets for us. And we listed them as agencies. They're partnerships in different niches in the law industry, in the real estate industry, in the auto sales industry, the gold buying industry, the auction industry. We have different agencies with different names where I put leads that talk to clients, that micro teams. You know, I have a partnership on Carrot. Like I have some good stuff rocking. Thank God. It took me many, many years, but yes. SEMrush for the win. Sorry, I digress. All right. I'm passionate about that one. Yeah, Ahrefs wouldn't work with me. And that made me very upset at that present time in my life. It was very sad because my buddies were using it. Gotch was using it. Ruan was on there. They had him on the show. I'm like, man, this is sick. You know, I was rocking with them. And they were like, nah, I don't like you. I was like, all right, I will never, ever tell anybody. But then again, I pay them to this day. I guess it's personal, but now SEMrush actually is better than Ahrefs. In the last 3 years, they, in my opinion, have beat them hands down. But 3 years ago, Ahrefs was king. King! Not now. Anyway. But dude, they got so many assets. Dude, they have so many. They buy so many assets now. Oh my gosh. Like, they are sculpting opinion by buying traffic. Like Brian Dean was public, and like we probably know that because he's on like YouTube and like he makes these things. But that was just one company. They've been snapping up companies. It's very public. I got their IPO. You can read up, like they are buying companies very quickly, very, very quickly. So yeah, I like SEMrush is smart. I like them a lot. Anyway, moving on. Next topic. Let me see if did I finish this off for this guy? He took the time to write it out. It looks like a really written message. It's not like some AI garble. And I'm still new to internal linking and couldn't quite find the answer. Okay. So yeah, and then if you look up internal links, I dissected this much better. I've even shown this using a live example, and then I've even shown this particular setup maybe in different variations on client sites. Okay, so yeah. So this we drilled home. So that's internal linking structure, and then how to know if we want to target a keyword cluster or a keyword grouping. Okay, so that's that. We talked about Google's memory and bracket there. I did not use the RSS trick, but I did not try to index this page yet. So I was just waiting to see when the update would stop. But SEO Expert Chicago, I don't think it's indexed yet. Yeah, no. So when it does, I don't think I did submit to Google. I'm just letting it find itself. And I only have one internal link that I just added. So I doubt this page was seen yet. Yep, not yet. Okay. So as soon as the page gets seen, and then once we get it to past the forward facing, because I'm running another test right now to see if Google can read. It's been a while since we did this test because I want to have 10 tests when I relaunch the mastermind. So one of them is, can Google still read in 2026, even with quantum processing? Even with quantum processing, can they read? Yes or no? They might be able to understand context, but can they read? That is the question. In my opinion, who knows? Knows. But we'll see. Now let's go and take a look. We'll look at a live client here. We just got this guy on. He already signed the disclosure, so I'm allowed to show him. You know, if we work on through partnerships, plus even Chris Palmer, Gray Hat, plus numerous partnerships, we roughly manage about 213 Google business profiles, right, on a monthly recurring basis. So we're going to take a look at this, but I want to see if, I guess really I'm checking in on the workmanship. Let's look at optimization and just take a look at this asset. So First thing we're going to take a look at is we want to see is the reputation management up to par. So we'll go to newest and we'll take a look. So it's looking like, okay, so we have a new one. We have a new one with imagery, great. And then 2 days ago, a week ago, great. Okay, so it's looking like a business doing good business is consistently getting good reviews. Now, they're not always good. Not every business can be perfect, right? But this business clearly licensed. They do great. We signed them up with a SMS system. So that's very, very good. I will not be disclosing that. It's part of our new service pack coming up, but it does lead nurture through SMS. It's working well, but we utilize it also for reviews. Especially like after we get a job done, we ask for photos. It's really cool. In any case, we're trying it out with this particular client. That's another reason why I'm looking. So it looks like the new system is starting to work. I'm really happy about that. So we'll come down in here. Now, the next thing I want to take a look at is I want to take a look at the posting and the posting schedule. So we try to do a post a day, post every other day, every other day. So this looks like it's working. And we like to take imagery that already exists on the asset and then do variations of the text that's already on the asset and then lead to the page that had the imagery or talked about said asset. So we have that icy roof. And that should be on this page somewhere, which it is. Okay, great. So we'll take the imagery that already exists and we'll take a variation of the verbiage that already exists. And then we create our post based upon that. Because I want you to think about how Google's algorithm works for, say, Google Ads, right? If you want a 10 out of 10, what do you need? Well, the words that show up in the ad should show up on the page that you're pointing to. And then the terms that I'm putting dollars behind or getting traffic for should also be on the page and then written within the ad. Well, if you take that logic and then transfer it into posting, it's the same type of setup. I need everything to be congruent. The traffic I get, the images I utilize, the links that I utilize, what's in the URL, what's on the page when they get there, is it all relevant? Because if it's not relevant, it's not going to rank. So consistency is key here. Remember, we're pointing internal link flow to, well, internal pages. In this instance, it looks like because we follow what is called a replenish and refresh system is what we coined it internally. And what that means is we start with the homepage and either daily or bi-daily, depending on what said client, depending on you, right? I'm talking about this from a client standpoint because I'm looking at the work just to see, because we've changed some things in the way we do things. But for you as a business owner, we want to stay top of mind to Google. One of the ways to catch a crawl, and we know that it's still effective, is because Google will still come to the site. If I create a post, I will get 2 to 3 views from Google, right? If I create this and put a link to this page, Google has been to this page 2 to 3 times, without a doubt. They need to make sure that I'm not sending them to a phishing site. I'm not sending them to any type of harmful element. Google is sending their customers to me. And they want to make darn sure wherever they're sending a customer off of their site to is going to be safe and secure. So this is how and why, and one of the ways you stay top of mind to Google is a consistent posting schedule. And we make sure everything is as congruent as possible. And that's what I'm checking on. This is one of the things that we changed was how we write the posts. How we grab the images. We optimized how this is done. And I really, really like how this came out. I don't like the emojis. That screams AI to me. So we'll have to fix that. But this looks pretty good. And one of the things that we've been hitting and talking about within some of our posts, we've been coaching to a degree for our reputation, was GAF, which is a manufacturer, right? So, we wanted to see if we could really push that GAF, like contractor, GAF roofing, roofer, like these types of terms. That was one of our new tests to see if we could engage this particular term. But that's posting. Daily posting to stay top of mind for terms and link it over. So here's our primary area. So this particular client drives pretty far. You know, they really want to take this. See this little corridor here? If I were to take a picture of this, okay, and bring this over here, you know, I remember speaking to this client. This is actually through a partnership, to be quite frank with you. A partner manages the customer. We perform the work, which is fine. I love sharing, but it was very concise in our partnership that this is the primary area that we want to contain ourselves with or concern ourselves with. So if we want to earn business in this particular corridor here, I actually think that Sterling was one of them too. I'd have to go and look. But if we want to own this corridor, then that means that we want to expand our proximity probably from Cascades, right, to say Reston, right, or McNair, all right? So, and then like Cascades to say McNair, let's just say Cascades to McNair. I don't know how far that is. Let's take a look. Cascades, Virginia to McNair, VA is about 11 miles. So 10-mile radius, we'll say, guaranteed. So about 10 miles. So that's a pretty good spread. Let's take a look. And then they do Philly. Yeah, it's going to be hard to go outside, especially when your primary location is elsewhere. So, yeah. So these are separate than what we're doing. Herdon. I think this is Herdon location, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Herdon. So right here, yeah. So it's the Herdon location. See, so this is good. That looks good. Now let's go see this. This is where sometimes, this is one of the things that I want to change is without removing catching more prominence. Yeah, see, this has to be updated. I don't know why my guys aren't doing this. Why didn't, unless we weren't allowed to, I'll have to message them why. So next for tips, right? Recall, beautiful home, by the way. That looks beautiful. If that was here, that'd be a half a ticket, right? That's a $500,000 house in PA, at least. I don't know about where that is. That might be worth more. Who knows? If that's in like Connecticut or something, yee! I can only imagine. Anyway, if we're looking at from tip standpoint, the reason why this is very important, this aspect, not only by users, but by the owner updating images, videos. You can also, there's other things that you can upload, right? But remember when you first set up your listing, you created your this home image. You uploaded your logo, you uploaded your videos, you uploaded imagery, you have interior, exterior, your team, you updated all your photos. Do you remember when you first launched and you get that initial rush of interaction and calls? Like at first it's great and then you decline, right? Well, if you refresh every 90 days, you get that a resurgence. You give love to Google, Google will give love to you. Remember, you want to stay engaged with not only Google, but your users. There's no better way than giving updates of jobs that you've done, of your team members, people you've hired, people you've let go, people that have worked there 10 years, people that worked there 2 years, right? Putting a face to the brand is highly important. Showcasing your actual address or where you live, not where you live, but where you do business at. Showcasing where your customers could park when they come, right? And outlining that. Very, very important. Think entities and how can I associate entities that are important to my brand and then convey that to Google. This is what you're doing when you're doing your content. Who's this? Oh, Mike. All right. So that's that. All right. Yeah, see, even this person, they have all different flavors of review. Real businesses don't always only get 5-star reviews. It's highly unlikely. This looks like they have all the aspects. They have 360, they have by owner, they have the house. Okay, great. Imageries that are entity rich, excellent, 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 excellent. Okay. All right, now let's go take a look from a desktop point of view, a little bit different. We're going to come on over here, and I want to just see how they did with this particular aspect. Okay. I'm not going to log into their herd Herodon. So that's their Philly location. We are doing this location. Okay. Well, currently this is the location we're working on. Trying out a few things for them. Okay, so products. All right, so products are an extension of services. Okay. So services and products mirror one another. And the outline is very simple. If you're on the website, okay, in case you don't know this, it's very clear that we do roof replacements, roof repair. Solar, I don't like mixing these. That should never be done, but they did it, so we left it. Exterior siding, gutters, fascia, skylights, and ice dam prevention. So if I were listing services under the service tab, when you're optimizing your business profiles, services, and then there's product category. Well, your services are going to mimic the drop down, the A tags that are on the homepage. I need A tags because when Google looks at render DOM and they see the code, A tags hold more weight. If you take a look at the initial patents that Google did, I know it's old, it's outdated, but if you look at anchor text patents, the way they analyze and the way they understand a page, or the way they rent the sort order of a page, or how they value a page is highly based upon the hyperlinks. So your page is not only about just the density, but the density of the words on the page is going to support the A tag usage that's on the page. The A tags hold way more weight. And I need that to be congruent through my products and services, and the A tags that are here and the primary density of the page is what you're going to get the best rankings for. Okay. Amongst other factors. So the primary words that are utilized within the page that's connected, and remember, your product pages are connected, your posts are connected, and your homepage primarily is what they're reading. Okay. Only if you do an update or create a post will Google and Google Maps bots, for lack of better terminology, or to make it simple, is going to read those internal pages. But the homepage needs to be tuned for who we are, what we do, and where we do it. All right? Now, here's what we're going to look at. So, what I want to see here is Douglas Roofing. Herodon. Okay. So it's been not even a month yet. So I'm not expecting to knock it out of the park in less than a month. We don't, there can't be any risk when you're dealing with a business, right? And it's cool to brag in, small towns of, very little people, or it's fun to brag that you got a big win, but at what risk to the business? If this company loses an asset with 200 reviews that's been in business for 5 years plus, we're gonna have a problem. So there can't be. We don't play. It's by the book always. So we test crazily, but only to understand what we can and cannot do. So just so we're on the same page here. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna scroll down just a tad here. And that's Norristown, very close to me. And then we want to take a look at this asset right here. We're going to go to the overview. We're going to look at their products. and then their product categories. So skylights, roof replacement, roof repair. So this is an enhancement, okay? See how there's 4 primary categories? Well, the primary keywords or the things that make you the most dollars is generally what we want to put here, okay? So you have your product category, which are the things that make you the most dollars, and you can list up to 4 and get the enhancement. What's the enhancement, you ask? Well, you see this right here. See how they put this here? Well, if you have more than 4 in there, it'll just be a clickable link, one link. This way I get 4 separate links. I take up more space within my listing, right? See how I have these 4 little bubbles? If it's just one, it takes up less space. It's not as prominent. It doesn't look the same. So now I have 4 unique URLs that lead. See this? This is a unique URL. So these are more places to send traffic to, more places to build links, but not for the sake of building links. You only build links to a maps listing in order to create referral traffic. Okay? So people are building you links. It's not because you want links. It's because I need starting points on authoritative assets that will show up on Google or other search engines very highly, or inside of blended SERPs in order to push traffic to the asset for primary key terms. Inside of a session, I could search for, say, roof replacement, right? A directory is going to win. We'll just say a directory. I'm looking for a roof replacement in some town or some neighborhood. And what shows up? Well, a directory. Well, this business in Herdon offers roof replacement in this neighborhood. It's a directory. That directory can link over to this product that's just talking about this neighborhood in this town. These could be neighborhoods. You can have as many products as you want. Product categories, you limit it to 4. This could be neighborhoods or towns in here. You could pack 50 under here, maximum, right? Most people recommend 20. You could put 50 in here, all right, per product category. You might get more, but generally when I put more in, I get ding, they start blocking them and stuff, okay? But this is to create clickable assets or traffic assets. So this looks good. I don't like the design of this. So this tells me the customer was in here because see this blue? We would make all of these be uniform. And then what we like to do is write the primary keyword on it because Google uses what is called OCR in order to analyze and read. Did you ever notice when you're looking for images, what does generally Google rank the highest? Well, they'll rank the highest things that have title tag, aka the alt tag, and then usually an overlay of words. Why? Because it's the most optimal for the said phrase or keyword. For example, let's just say that we're looking for, I don't know, how about roofing? This guy's in Virginia. How about roofing, Richmond? Okay. So roofing in Richmond here. Gee, who would have thought? Now, this is do you think it's a coincidence that, okay, here's a roof from a guy in Richmond, so the alt tag, and it shows a roof, and Google has probably analyzed and understood that this is actually there, however, but look at this. This is probably on something connected to them. Look at this, Richmond roofing. Like, no matter where you look, it's not a coincidence that overlaid images generally perform much better. It's not a coincidence at all. So I don't go against the grain. I lean into it. Okay. Don't go against. So that's something that we like to do. So in this particular instance, more optimal, Tammy, Dave, if we can, and I understand a lot of clients will push back, especially these guys, because this is a partnership. We really want to urge the customer to put the verbiage on here just for that reason, and that's the explanation why. Okay. But this is looking great. The review, the reputation is working good. The posting schedule. Now this right here is wildly important. And this doesn't look as concise as I would want it to be. But I don't see our name in here. What's been family owned? Douglas Roofing, founded 1985 by Douglas and Sean and Josephine, the family of blah, 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 blah. Like, people, places, things, services, and products. Entity relationship to who we are, what we do, and where we're at. These are the things that we talk about within the description. And the why this is so valuable is not because of the primary optimization within the profile. Oh, no. It's because this is what's going to be duplicated. Where nothing is more authoritative than Google. So remember when we started this conversation and we're manipulating AI? What could be more authoritative than your Google business profile? Nothing signifies to Google that this is a entity better than a Google business profile. It's top shelf. So if I was prompting, right, for ease of understanding, if I'm prompting Google or any AI on here's who we are, here's what we do, and where we do it, and this is what's going to be here, and then I need it to be repeated multiple times online for Google to say that this is gospel, right? This is in truth, this is a fact. Why is it a fact? Because it was said by said entity and then validated and verified on other authoritative assets, and then non-authoritative assets as well that may not show up in the forward-facing index. See, you're going to take this, and this is what goes on your citations. This terminology and variations thereof, right, is what you put in your press releases. This terminology and variations thereof is what you put in all your directories, your niche directories, your paid directories, your geo-specific directories, your aggregation listings, right? This section is so important, and if I get 700 characters plus, whatever it is, I utilize all of it. So we want this to be better optimized because this is such a valuable spot. Plus, we want to take up more space. All right. So this is good. And I like you put years in there. Years, longes and lads, zip codes. These are entity based. So this is cool. Family. This is entity based. All right. So this is good. But word like filler words or stop words like this with additional in, you want to cut down. Symbols like this and, colons, commas are fine. But you want to cut down on that type of stuff. Spaces, unnecessary spaces. There's cosmetic appeal, but I'm more concerned with being visible, right? Like a customer isn't going to think negatively of me because I didn't space the words properly. But what's worse is they won't even have the chance to consider me because I'm not optimized properly. Right? I need to be visible before we worry about cosmetic appeal as much. This needs to be entity rich, all right? Spacing, stop words, well, let's get them in position. And then we can argue about that. I love this. This is great. There's still room here. So the profiles are, again, there's a reason why this profile piece is here, right? These are secondary authoritative assets that are there, and Google has made it even easier for people to understand that, okay, this is who you are, what you do, and where you're at, but has it been validated by your peers and by you on other authoritative assets that we actually respect, right? So if this is connected and you've made the hard link, when you go to these assets, are you talking about the same thing? There's a guy in the SEO space who runs a Fiverr-ish thing, right? Like you may get more activity, but do you want 10,000 people that produce one sale, or do you want 100 people that produce 50? Right? If I keep sending irrelevant traffic consistently and over and over and over again, but then you're also feeding in things that are hyper relevant. How could you be the authority when you're talking about irrelevant things and earning traffic that isn't irrelevant? Experts can concern themselves with their professional expertise. That's all they talk about. That's what they do. This is their thing. Here's who I am. Here's what I do. Here's where I do it. So what I'm getting at here is on these assets, I want as many as I can have, but we are not connecting anything that isn't talking about who we are, what we do, and where we're at, right? I need to reiterate what's on the website, what's on here, what goes in my postings, what comes in my reviews, and the traffic that I'm receiving. I need Google to clearly understand that when you're thinking roofing in Henderson, Virginia, you need to think Douglas. And that's what we're doing here. So this is cool, but hopefully these assets, we don't manage these types of assets yet, but we're working that out. That's our next offering: video, audio, social media marketing, PPC management, brand amplification is the future for me as a service provider. My job is to figure out the cheapest, fastest, safest way to reach success. And that's my gig. That's what I do. I want to know how fast and how cheap and how safe can I do something. And that's where the O in the SEO comes in. The optimization is what my favorite. I want to do the least amount of work for the best output possible. And the least amount of work means it's the fastest, and it takes the least amount of hands, so that lowers the cost, and I get an effective outcome with the lowest amount of effort. Ooh, my favorite. That's what I do. That's what I do best. So these assets here can be important, but make sure they're congruent with our mission, And then this down here tells the tale. If you see anything down here irrelevant, we have a problem. This is to further back up assets. Now, I got off on a tangent there to explain this particular aspect, but if you're curious on which ones you should add, what you do is you look at the most authoritative assets in your space and in larger cities. For instance, this is roofing, right? So we're in the roofing industry. So you go to larger cities like roofing in, say, PHOENIX, then you come down here and you take a look. Okay, so here's Phoenix Roofing and Repair. We're going to scroll down. I know this is in Phoenix, and our guy is in Virginia, but we see YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and IG. So one more asset that our guy doesn't have is YouTube. So in the roofing industry, they are rewarding YouTube. Okay. Some industries, I've even seen TikTok in here. I know, strange. So still IG, and this is what we're doing. Okay. We're looking at these assets. Now, another thing, what you're going to find is around the web, reviews found around the web. When you're searching for your competitors and you're searching for, to earn position, higher rankings, again, having reviews, positive or negative, around the web that contain your name associated to the services you provide about your area, how you figure out which places hold the most weight is by looking at your competition and seeing where, found around the web. What reviews were they receiving? And then you look in the other bigger markets, and it will usually tell you, like Yelp or Facebook, people are talking about, or Reddit, or it changes depending upon niche market and where your geolocation. Okay. But if you want to figure out profiles, look to your competition. Want to figure out where I need to get other reviews besides just Google and Google Maps and Bing and Foursquare and Monza and MapQuest? Well, you look at your competition and you look in bigger markets. And then you start investing your time and energy and resource into allocating those assets. Okay. So hopefully that helps you out. Yeah. So, in this case, I like this other than, well, not this one. This one is not my work. This is us. So, yeah, I mean, I won't reiterate what we talked about, but the images, the new updates, the uploads, the products with the overlays of verbiage, a little bit better tuning on the website, a little bit more A tag usage. I mean, there's some tweaks that we can do to squeeze out some more, but let's just see. So from the 26th till now, so the 7th, we've been working on this profile. That's 1, 2, so 7, 8, 9. So we've been actively working on this asset for 9 days. Let's take a look here. So this is where we took on this project on the 26th. So this was a big one for him, and I'm hoping that we got so TARP. This is a range, so we're just going to see here. All right, so let's. slate roofer, residential roofing, roof replacement, cedar roof, roof repairs, metal roof, asphalt roof, roofing contractor. We are searching in a 10-mile radius. We have an 8.85, so this is our average. Okay, so slate. So from this Cascades, well, I looked it up. I think I did Cascades to one of these down in here. I forget, but it was like a 12-mile or a 10-mile radius, we'll say. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so it's a 10-mile, 10 to 11-mile radius is what we're shooting for. And note, I just want to point something out. Another element of our optimization is we not only will definitely run clicks. I'll be careful about my verbiage. Of course, we buy asset, right? We buy traffic from Caesar or Google, not Caesar. You give back Caesar's what Caesar's, right? So of course we buy traffic, but also this is communication with the algorithm, right? Communicating with the algorithm in two ways. One, we create our campaigns and then targeting specific keyword sets. And then we create ads that are targeting keyword sets in a specific geolocation. And then the communication, in order to better communicate with the algorithm, we then create tracking systems per ad that's for per location. And then once we identify per location certain longitude and latitude sets, we have our ads, our campaigns, we've created tracking, and we communicate that back and forth, and we're tracking it, right? We then are also identifying longitude and latitudes in that same market in order to help traffic, if you're with me. But this is ASN, country, city, and device specific to a specific area based upon longitude and latitude, most notably in lower ranking longitude and latitudes. For instance, I'm not going to send traffic to this longitude and latitude, but we will send here. And if I want to rank here, that means I need to start sending traffic to longitude and latitudes that are here in Penderwood. Okay. So you're gaining in rows. So if I want to start jumping miles, expanding proximity is what it's all about. Generally, you're not going to gain more terms, but I can gain more ground. And that's what I'm very good at that. It can take time because we don't want to risk anything, and you can't develop patterns. So when you develop patterns and there's no risk, that means you move very slow, and it can be relatively costly. The slower you move, the higher the cost. That means there's more input, there's more time, there's more watching. You have to. We are mindful. Let's just put it that way. It's tough, but let's just see in 9 days how we did. Let's just see. So after 1 day, okay. So 1 day, it's kicking in. It looks like we're doing okay. So 8:15. All right. So that first day we had a jolt. So we probably adjusted when we noticed that jolt. We we changed real quick. I guarantee it. We probably adjusted our system. It takes a day or two to. Here's the kick-in date. This is where we had our adjustment. Yep. So we started to push it. We started to push proximity too early, and it dumped on us. So then we readjusted. Yep. Went back down. So then starting to find our happy medium. So we're still in that 9 to 815 range, 8.7. Yep. So we're still playing around with the traffic. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. So we just hit our groove. So after a first week it takes in order to, because I'm looking at this chart. So this is the average, how we're performing overall. So it took us a week. It took us a week to dial it in, and then we're playing with terms and words. So this one's doing pretty well. What had happened here? Oh, so we had a small shift, and we brought in our big keyword. So I'm very happy. Okay, so it took us a week to bring in the one he really wanted. Okay. Yeah, because they were already, okay, so great. So what the client wanted, now we're on the board. Not only are we on the board, but we came in pretty strong. I mean, we hit top position. Okay, so that's in a 10-mile radius. So, and two, I want to reiterate something for you. Remember that for the things that we just talked about: reputation, traffic, ads, the pages, primary optimization, keyword sets, supporting content, the links that we build, the referral traffic we get will be from these areas and talking about very specific terms. But remember, if I want to rank for Gaff Roofer, that does not mean that I only want traffic from Gaff Roofer. If I'm getting referring traffic, and this is a gem for you, if I want to rank for Gaff Roofer, I need to figure out the keyword set. And when I get referral traffic, which is especially more important, it needs to come in from keyword set. So if I want to rank for Gaff Roofer, well, I might get initiated traffic from the term gaff. I might get initiated traffic for the term gaff roofing, gaff roofer. And what do I mean by this? Chris, how would you rank for something when you don't have a page? When you're not saying it, how would you do this? Well, let's just hypothetically say that you, inside of a set of podcasts or a set of YouTube videos or inside of a set of directories, they're heavily optimized for GAF company, GAF roofing. And those assets might not rank on the first page, but they rank above my website and my GBP for those terms because this is a separated brand, right? It's actually the manufacturer. So, but YouTube video or a podcast or Spotify or Apple or a press release asset or a paid directory asset will rank in the first 2 pages. So that way it's low cost for me to find said page in a search result ranking asset, right? You can do a search inside of a session, find GAF companies, find said asset, and then push traffic that's referral from authoritative assets to moi and end session. I found my answer. And from highly specific and targeted geo locations that I want to win in. And that's how you earn terms, specific terms in specific areas. At least that's how we do it. And of course, the customer, they have to be in business. There's a lot of other things, but that's how traffic works in a nutshell. So we are very happy. I mean, in 9 days here. So this is starting to come in. So 89, 88, 65. So let's just see here. Cedar's jumping from 4.5 to 4.2. So in basically a week and 9 days, we had a jump on those roofs. We had a significant increase starting in 8 for Slate. What about some more broad match terms? Yeah, so Gaff we brought in. We wanted that one. Owens Corning Roofer. So this was part of our test. Okay, yeah, so we need to push more of those that didn't come in yet. I know we were focused on Gaff for sure. Inspections, 859 to 6, okay. And then we're starting to expand proximity slowly but surely. It's only been a week. In a month's time, we should be pretty dominant. All right, so roof inspections is big. Repairs is probably important. 549 from 6, so we jumped up. We're gaining position. We're going to hit 3-pack soon. And note, that'll be in a 10-mile radius. Our goal is a 10-mile radius top 3. We don't have to be number 1. But we want to first, we got to get green. And then we want to, then green is the goal, obviously. Number 1, 2, or 3 is the goal. But you have to be red to even be in the ball game. So this is starting to become in the ball game because we're expanding proximity. So this is working, and I'm very happy about this. Excellent, excellent. So this system is starting to work better. Everything is coming in metal. So let's go to roof repairs. 6.6. Yeah, 5. So 6.6 to 5.5. I am just ecstatic. So, and some of the changes that we made was the way we're pushing traffic is primarily done through what is called Playwright and Puppeteer. Mobile proxy. Yes, I still have. I don't sell to the public anymore, but we set up numerous mobile proxies. Plus, on top of that, so we pay a premium for IPs, which is tough. So, and then I have to allocate some budget towards other marketing. So, okay, cool. So we did a brief overview of that. Let's see. Do you have any questions related to this? I'll come inside of here. So I'm happy with my 9-day performance on that client there. Let's take a look here. See if you have anything. All right. Kaleem SEO. Use back. Oh, this guy again. The Backlink Titan. Hi, Kaleem. It's good to see you too. Not even a hi, just a pitch. Does that seem like the right thing to do, sir? Honestly? Like, does that seem respectful? You know? Like, do you think that I would do that to you? No, I wouldn't. So just a high could be cool. At least a high, right? This is no thought. This is copy and paste just randomly. Now, I won't block you because I'm going to give you the opportunity to redeem yourself at some point. Or maybe you'll pitch me again. I love you, brother, and I wish you well with your tool. I hope you win. I will not be a buyer. And Backlink Titan, thank you for the live stream. See? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good man, Charlie Brown. You're a good man. All right, Backlink Titan. He's a titan of biblical proportion. He's the Backlink Titan. He's back. He's Mr. Magic City. He's blown color purple, make it rain on my forehead. Where is it? All right, I'm getting tired now. All right. We might not be able to go through the GSA walkthrough because I'll get frustrated because I'm tired. But what we will do is take a look at the SERP Fox report and see if it's poopy or not. So we got, oh boy, we have a client. This is one of our guys. Oh, I don't know if I had this guy sign. I forget. So this is one of my guys. All right. I do a lot of e-vending machines. We work on this project. Now I think if I'm right, e-vending machine. There's a guy that always beats us, evending.com, yeah. This is one of my guys too. Yeah, this is my guy here. I think we have other projects too. I wonder how my other guy's making out. Let me go see here. I can't say this out loud, but I'm just looking to see what's going on. Yep. Okay. All right. Oh, is this the one that you wanted here? Now, I again, I just want to see something. I'm just curious how we're doing here. Oh, wait, shouldn't that tell me? Oh my gosh, that's funny. Chris, shouldn't this tell you? Chris, you're so funny. Thank you. I try. Okay. So I don't, this is not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not intuitive. And it's just a little graph, you know? But let's see how this looks. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come into here. Now I started to set this up, but I didn't see what the report looks like. So I want to see, because we're fine tuning a, oh wow. So I did, oh wow. Oh, so when I updated this, it remembered, oh, that's why this is here. Because I used this before, and then we were using SEO Power Suite. Well, actually, a member on my team was using SEO Power Suite, and I thought about using it, but then I was like, yeah, but I want to send my clients a ranking report, and I want them to get it automated. I don't want to have to, do it. Like, I don't, I want to be able to just give them a report inside of a doc. I want to give them a URL that they can check. I don't want it to be a big pain in the butt. So we're going to utilize SERP Fox here, but I want to take a look at this. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Keyword ranking report for Gray Hat SEO. Great. Okay. Okay, Gray Hat. I'll probably change that. Okay. And then we have, this report covers the period Tuesday. Okay, yeah, so this is old. So here it is. Oh, I like this. So this is Google Desktop Organic in the United States. So I can choose location, and then it's going to tell you where you're at. Okay. That's it. Create a report. Okay, so title. Format is, oh, HTML graphs. Okay, that's intriguing. Title. Okay. Okay, so it will do something, I guess. All right, so it says it will save and then go to my inbox after it's done doing it. Okay. And then I can add people? Is that how this works? So create, what was that? Create what? Create a shareable link. Now this is what I want right here. And then I can watch this. Okay. Wow. Okay. Oh, and then I can click on the report and it will show me my performance. Oh, I love it. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. I like this a lot. And then we'll just give people the report. That's exactly what we're going to do. I love it. I love it. I think it'll add so much more value. Because I mean, it's one thing to send people, okay, hey, like we were sending people graphs, um, but I have a much better. I was doing residential only traffic, but now I have enough mobile proxies and enough locations to hit all of the regions. Because we have 250 dongles in 4 different states now. So yeah, I have 1,000 mobile IPs that change their connected IP every 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the location and depending on the ASN. So we have T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon. We have different ASNs depending upon the location, and we rotate those assets depending upon hardware age. Newer ones we change every 3 minutes, older ones every 5 minutes. And every session gets a new IP. But then we also have 100 that of those dongles, so 25 in each of the locations, that are logged into profiles. So those are interesting. And then I have endless. I have IPv6. We have IPv4, which I utilize. And then we have the mobile rotating. And then we've created pools, which are fun. I don't know if you've ever done a pool. So we have, yeah. I got the IP thing locked in. Let's just put it that way. And I was going to offer them, but it doesn't, it's not enough. I partnered up with this guy, Alfredo, and he was pretty cool. He had one of the locations. But yeah, and that's where I learned, like, the dongles are cool, but it's all about the upload. Like if you're not sitting on a 10 gig port, forget about it. So you have to have a very unique setup to make your mobile IPs work properly. And you can use APIs, and that's cool, but having your own proxy service is better. So yeah, I can use APIs and I could get subpar data, but I like Edge for residential, and I like mobile for a lot of other things. So there you go. So this will be our new reporting. I don't know if you're seeing this, Mike, but you see that, you click this link and it's on like Donkey Kong. Click on this shareable link and it brings you a report that looks just like this. I'm going to minimize this right here because I don't think it should be so in my face, right? It's just unnecessary. I want it to be white label. So yeah, this isn't white label enough. I like how it shows the green and I like it. I think we can work with this. So I'm happy with this. I think it's well worth the money. This is one of the cheaper solutions that's fair. And yeah, do you have any questions about those reports? No? Okay. I love you guys. It's been 2 hours. I'm going to bed. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I love it. Dude. 4 o'clock in the morning, dude. Mr. Hyde's signature. You want to stay awake and do SEO? Drink this. Oh, that's crazy. And then they wash it down with one of these bad boys. Love you guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. My name is Chris Palmer, chrispalmer.org. If you are interested, okay? Yes, we have some mastermind stuff coming up, but what about right now, Chris? What about right now? So grayhatseo.com for all of your managed needs. Soon, if you message here, you will get email response unless we're online. I have a success manager that only manages this particular message box right here. If you need services, or if you're an agency, or if you're a small agency, or you want to scale up your agency, if you're great at sales but cannot deliver results at scale, please reach out to me. If you have one client or more, one person, and you want to, and you're great at getting more people, and you want somebody to do the work that will be fair with you. For instance, I've seen other white label agencies. There's not enough room, and I don't care what anybody tells you, that the vast majority of small business owners that you reach out to, it's hard to scale if your buy to get the job done is $500. I promise you. Like, some people might get lucky and might charge all these numbers, but if you want to work with somebody that will actually give you white label and can deliver results guaranteed, like, you will be better off after you meet me. I promise you that. That I can guarantee. Anything you're doing, I can amplify. And I would love to do it with you. And if you want to partner up, message right here. Click this button, fill out the form. If somebody's here, which they are, they're here. Message. Okay, this is human, not AI or a bot. Right? Text this number right here. This is my phone number. 650-810-6076. You can message me on WhatsApp. Please do it. Right? You can text me right there. Okay? Now, if you want somebody to reach out and speak to you through email, fill out this form right here, and Michael or Alex will be more than happy to reach out to you. If you absolutely, positively need to meet with me, book a time. All right? Where you book a time is right here. Book consulting call. Click this button here. You want to do an intake? Click this right here. Want to talk to somebody? Click this right here. Now, white label. If you have more than one client, we can work on and negotiate cost. Okay? The more you have, the cheaper I can do it. All right? But I will leave enough room for you to actually eat, and we do everything. Like, I just went through some of it, not all of it, but count on optimization. Optimization of the profile. Count on daily or bi-daily posting. Count on reputation management. Count on category and products and services to be optimized. Count on having a success meeting every single month. Count on having a success manager that you can reach out to and make changes on the fly. Like, you'll have full service for half the cost, so you can go get the other half for yourself. You get paid half for making the sales and dealing with the customers. I get the half for executing on the work and making sure that you're happy. I only want to work with people that understand SEO, not all the business owners. Now, if you're a business owner and you understand what the work is and what it takes, and you want somebody to manage your profile, right? I don't have all the bells and whistles, and I don't want people calling me every day. I'm just being honest with you, right? Like, there's a charge for that. We do things at a white label cost. Okay. So here's what we have here. Now, I'm sure there's somebody out there for $1,500 or $1,000 a month that will just do your maps, will be at your beckoning call. But if you want a white label provider that produces results to work with, I'm your guy. All right. Now, if you're a business owner and you're hands off and just want results, you don't need to know how it works. You just need results. I'm your guy. We have a great system here. PRs right now, man, I'm backed up so bad. We did a Black Friday special, and I was blessed with a rush of sales, but we're behind. We're still producing them, of course. No matter what, we always come through. But we have a back order right now. So, like, right now, expect 30 days to produce at this present moment, but that changes. Dude, in a week from now, we'll bust through the rest of them. So, and we'll be back on track. And then we'll be back to 21 to 30 days. So we have all different types. We have monthly recurring, we have singles, and these are your singles right here. Monthly, $80 a unit. We can do doubles. All right. You can buy 3 months at a time for a deal. And then if you want to buy a year's worth, or you need to buy a year's worth for 10 clients, dude, book a time or message me. Dude, I'll give you wholesale. All right? Wholesale. Like, I've looked around the market. This is a global release. Like, my nearest competitor Like even when I'm on with my friend, right? I go on with my good friend on another live stream. I'm beating his cost, right? And he does great work. I can do the same thing for cheaper. So here, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look here. I'll show you something. You want management? Take a look, take a read. You have questions. I've answered them all. Here's what it includes, right? This right here is one month a month, one person, just you. And you want everything. This is the cost. Now, if you just want traffic and reporting, we do that even cheaper. Okay, and you can read through it. We answer all the questions. All right. But dude, if you have, say, like 5 people, I'll give them to you for $275. All right. And that's daily posting or bi-daily posting. We can do reputation management. I have a dynamic updating GeoGrid reporting. Like we'll track up to 10 words for you and give you a dynamic report every 2 weeks. We'll take care of your reputation, take care of your posting, take care of your optimization, give you a pretty report that's white label. You can put your stamp on it and you can go sell 1 million of them and we'll do all the work. Then you should be able to get $500 to $700 a month for that. Easy. Like that's full retail. I'm not retail. I'm wholesale. Okay. PR we do right now, and then consulting, that's time. If you want me to personally take time, there's to me, I'm very reasonable. But I'm higher priced than somebody that knows far less than me. So that's that. Maps and PR is what we're doing now. If you're interested in it and you know what you need, please feel free. chrispalmer.org. Okay. I saved this for the very end. Okay. But I talk to people all the time. Like I used to never even talk about anything. I would just show it and that would be it. But I talk to people. They say, hey, I followed you for years. I didn't even know you offered citations. I just talked to a guy the other day. He was doing eco-friendly. He's like, you offer citations? What? I didn't even know. I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? You've been following me for 3 years? He's like, yeah, here's my profile. I checked. Yep, 3 years. Didn't even know I offered stuff. Wow. So I got to tell you, I have to mention it sometimes. So I apologize, but I don't apologize. I'm doing you a disservice by not telling you. Because if you're going to the next guy, or you go into these guys that are charging $500 an hour for time, or $200 for a citation package, like I'm doing you a disservice by not letting you know, hey, I can give you DR30s. I can give you DR50s that are category specific. I can get you comment links. I can give you homepage links. I can build you a PBN. I can get you citations. I got website traffic. I can do CTR. I have white label. I have reseller. I have wholesale. Whatever you need. If it's SEO, local specifically, I have you covered. You want content? You want optimized content? Let me teach you how to optimize content. You want to do done with you? You want to do done for you? You want agency? You want reseller? How you want it? I got it. Okay? I can help you out. You want GSA setup? How may I help you? Right? You want monthly links? You need Haro links. You want link inserts? You want CNN links? You want authority links? I can help you. You want EDU links? Google News, we're doing setups. We don't really do that anymore, but maybe we can. Citations, directories, right? PR, basic PR. Basic PRs, dude, we'll do it, write it, issue it. Most people for is $99. I'll give it to you for $65 and I'll write it. I have everything you need. You want just traffic and reporting? I have that right here. You want me to write content that's tuned? No problem. I'll write it for you. You want me to restructure your site? Sure, no problem. I'll do it for you. We'll do it for you. I have a team of 12, okay? 13 with me. I have a small team. But I am at scale. If it's traffic or if it's Google Business Profile, Google Maps, traffic, PR, or links, I have almost infinite scale I can help you with. All right. I love you guys. I can do everything that the next guy can do better, faster, and cheaper. I assure you of that. Only thing I don't do is design. I don't like it. It's too much time. And I can't get the amount of dollars that I feel it's worth it. And I dislike doing it immensely. I like optimization. I like tuning what someone already has. or helping another agency scale. I love web design agencies that do all the pretty stuff and they want to actually win. That's what I'm good at. CRO, lead generation. If you're in law, real estate, chiropractor, dentist, HVAC, roofing, pest control, waterproofing, bail bonds, flipping limo service, airport service, any type of remediation services, private investigators. Dude, I can handle it. All types of law, criminal law, personal injury. Like I shine in personal injury and law, criminal law, personal injury, divorce, car, truck, like law, personal injury law, and criminal law. And then I do very, very well in real estate. If motivated sellers, I can, dude, if you're in the real estate space, I can amplify whatever you're doing. I promise. And I just got out of a very large contract. I could show you how to be a big winner organically and online. All right. And we've had phenomenal success. All right. I love you guys very, very much. I thank you for your time. I hope to service you and serve you in the future. My name is Chris Palmer, chrispalmer.org, Gray Hat SEO and SEO Mastermind, which is down right now.org. Don't you worry, we'll be back much better than ever. If you are an agency or a reseller or just a business owner, reach out 570-810-1080, or you can go to grayhatseo.com, leave me a message, and we'll reach out to you through email. Thank you very much. It's 4 a.m. I'm going to bed. I love you so much. Thank you for your time. I would have nothing without you. So I live to service. I love you guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.